Welcome to yet another fun conversation with new and great friends. This is a CFMC pop-up grant, and we're so excited because this is another one of our great partner, Whelan Engineering's pop-up grants from their New Hampshire site. So we want to thank Whelan Engineering for supporting this and making it possible for their employees to share with us and all of you their favorite nonprofits in Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire. We've covered all sorts of places through these. Today, we're joined with Michael of Upper Valley Haven, which is our grantee. It's the nonprofit organization that was receiving a pop-up grant. And Christopher from Whelan Engineering, who actually is our nominator. And we're so pleased because it's so much fun to bring the nonprofit and the nominator together and make those introductions as well. Michael, let's kick it off with you. And why don't you tell everyone just a little bit about what is Upper Valley Haven, where are you, and what do you do?
Sure. Thank you, Thayer. Really appreciate it. Thanks to the foundation. Thank you to Whelan Industries Engineering for sponsoring this. And thank you, Christopher, for nominating the Upper Valley Haven for this pop-up grant. The Upper Valley Haven is a nonprofit organization that has been around for a little more than 40 years now. We were actually founded by 5 churches back in 1981 who looked at a problem of homelessness, particularly among families that they saw in this community where we are in White River Junction. And so these members of a church next door, St. Paul's Church, saw this problem and they prayed on it and then drew together 4 other churches from White River Junction and Lebanon in Woodstock, Vermont, and said, what can we do? And they determined that there was a call to faith and a call to action in that moment. Cut forward over time, the organization, we're no longer affiliated religiously. We're a secular nonprofit and have been for 30 years. And we've grown quite a bit in that time. So we remain true to that initial mission of serving people who are unhoused. And we now have 2 shelters at present, a family shelter for 8 families, what you might hear footsteps running of children above me, and I don't even hear them, but you might, because I've been doing this for 5 years. And then an adult shelter right next door for 20 adults. We're, in fact, staying in the shelter field. We're also in Lebanon, just across the river, preparing to run a winter season shelter there. The city invited us in because they saw that there was a need. And we know in the cold weather that we have here, that shelters save lives. And so that's one of the businesses we're in. We know housing is what's needed long-term, and we do a lot of that work as well, but we start with shelter. We have also developed an extensive food programs over time. We're the 2nd largest food pantry in the state of Vermont, serving on a typical day, somewhere between 70 and 110 households will come visit us for a wide variety of nutritious food that we're able to have donated, gleaned from grocery stores and other food purveyors. We have a hot meals and lunch food to go as well, part of our curbside model that we developed during COVID, which we've retained, as well as then shelf-stable items and dairy and proteins that are available on a monthly basis to everyone. And so thousands of families are here. We're located pretty close to Dartmouth-Hitchcock, which is the tertiary care medical center in the region. And so we'll see people coming from doing their medical appointments and using us as a stop along the way, and people from Charlestown, which is where the local office of Whelan Engineering is located. We serve a lot of families from Charlestown, even though it's 45 minutes to an hour away. We've partnered particularly with health organizations to have emergency food bags available in primary care clinics when they do screening questions, and we'll ask, have there ever been a time since we've last seen you where you thought you didn't have enough food in the house, or you ever worried about that? And we can say, well, we have emergency food bags here, which are stocked with peanut butter and pasta sauce and other things. Would you like one to take with you? And inside that is also a list of all the food pantries in the area that in the hours that they can go visit.
That is
Yeah.
like, I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
And I'm filing that one away, even for
Good.
our area, because I don't think I have ever thought about that approach to it,
Yeah.
but really that is as important as those people that know that they can come in and sign up for services and take advantage. But your doctor's
Yeah.
office really is a great place
Yeah.
where you can identify needs.
Yeah, these are the larger primary clinics that are, that DH operates, and at Al Day Hospital in Lebanon, which serves the region as well. Most recently, with the cancer center there, but they found that 11% of the hundreds of patients that they see, probably thousands a year, also have some financial challenges. And so with them, we've created a food pantry in the hospital at the cancer center, so that if someone says that, that would you like us, we have fresh fruits and vegetables. We work with the dietitian so that we're bringing in the food that that they would benefit from, that will help them in their recovery. And there are volunteers then who are available to bring we've got dairy and vegetables and shelf-stable products as well, to bring it to their car, so they can get home.
Yeah, it is amazing to hear the history of your organization and just how it has, developed over the past 40 plus years, and the different ways you're engaging with the community and finding those in need, and really broadening your footprint, and just determining where the needs are, and meeting those people where they are. It's really remarkable to hear about. And Christopher, I'm curious, what inspired you to nominate Upper Valley Haven for the pop-up grant?
My sister-in-law has worked there in the past. She worked there, I guess, a year or two. Mm-hmm. And she still volunteers. So I've heard a lot about the Upper Valley Haven. And when this pop-up grant, they advertise it all over the building, all over the campus, really.
Yay!
And we say, nominate your favorite nonprofit, your favorite charity. And every time I see it, Upper Valley Haven, I don't know if Carrie did that on purpose, but she brainwashed me to thinking about Upper Valley Haven every time I see nonprofit. So it was a no-brainer for me. And the work that they do, I've heard a lot through Carrie. It's one of those things where if you don't have it, like Mike said, there's always going to be issues, especially with the weather and having an indoor place for families even to stay. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was a pretty easy decision. They do it every month, mm-hmm. and I've been throwing it in there every month. I think it was November I got selected. I'm not exactly November, December.
Well, I can't tell you how happy we are, Christopher, that you selected us, and that's really, emblematic of the supportive community that we have here in the Upper Valley. As I said, we serve both in Vermont and New Hampshire. We have no barriers to where anybody can come from. We do a lot of housing programs as well, helping people find permanent housing and then helping them stay in that, because we recognize that the work goes on. But the Haven survives on the support of this community we have.
I was just going to say, Michael, your organization is definitely an inspiration. It definitely is. And it's nice to hear, how large you've grown and how many people you are able to help. And it sounds like you are in an amazing community that people, will come out and help, and how many volunteers you have. That's wonderful to hear. I do have one question. In your shelter, how long, do people normally stay? And it's hard to find housing for them after that.
Yeah, that's a great question, Jennifer. It's, over time, the length of stay has grown longer. Mm-hmm. We don't have limits on that, as long as someone is working towards finding housing. And many people, it's maybe misunderstood or not as well understood. A good portion of the folks who are here have jobs. They're working. They can't afford the rent, or particularly these days, there's a very little vacancy in our community, and they want to stay where they are. They might have children that are in school, or it's near where they work. But because of that, the market failure that's occurred in our area, and perhaps you're in Middlesex County, you're seeing some of that too, of rents going up, not enough supply of housing, leads to, sometimes, evictions occurring. But right now, systems are organized to make it very hard to not have a lot of money and not have a place to live. And many of the people we see are, only that close to one medical event, one other catastrophe in their life that can occur.
Well, thank you for being there and helping.
Well, it's as I said, we have hundreds of volunteers who work with us in our job, and the team that I have with us is tremendous, and then a community that supports us financially. So, my job is to not screw any of that up, make it all work, continue to work. So.
This may be putting you on the spot a little bit, Michael, but we know that unfortunately homelessness and food insecurity is prevalent all over. In your experience, what are some things that we can do in our own communities to help those in need?
Yeah, that's a great question, Abby. And undoubtedly, in your community, there are multiple food pantries or churches that have community suppers. And don't feel badly about it. Everyone's going to be welcoming to you. If you're not sure, I might do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing, you're not going to. That you have at your grocery store, they might have a rounding up or another way to make a contribution to your local food pantry. I see that at our stores here. But you can volunteer in some churches also do some shelters, and particularly in the winters. And you might have a chance again, people are going to be welcoming to you. Support, the efforts to create more affordable housing in our communities. That's very important. And you like to think the markets will take care of themselves, but they won't. And the decisions we make for our political leadership have implications too. But on a personal level, you can and then help, and think about it with your whole families as well. We see lots of families come in with their kids to try to introduce them to the idea of that there are not everyone maybe has as much as we do, or that whatever we have, we should always be willing to share. And so they come in when they want to make a donation of food to the food pantry. They bring the children in, and sometimes the children have actually participated in food drives that they've done on their own or through their businesses or through their churches or through their Boys Girl Scout troops. And those are all ways to connect in some small way to those who, for whatever reasons, have found themselves in a place where they needed to count on some others for help. I would also remind that what we're seeing is that the people who need our help, the demographics are changing. We're seeing more and more older people here as well who are on fixed incomes and are more challenged. So that it's not in food shelves, it's not that everyone here is hungry per se, but they can be struggling to balance their budget financially. And the work that a food pantry does, a food shelf in your community, might be helping them in that regard of having to stretch their dollars a little bit farther that they do have, and so that they go and can get food from the food pantry that's nearby.
Christopher, thank you again for joining us. Please tell everybody at the Charlestown site we appreciate it. They let you sneak away for half an hour to come be with us. This has been wonderful. And thank you for nominating Upper Valley Haven and giving us the opportunity to talk with Michael today. This has been fabulous, and we're so thrilled to continue our wonderful partnership with Wheelan and support nonprofits that mean so much to people that are helping them make great products. So thank you, Christopher, and thank you for all you do.
Well, I was just going to mention when Michael was talking about the shelter and all, and it's dawned on me in the past that we could be a half a step from needing that. You don't know what's around the corner, so that also gets me thinking about, okay, I really want to help and volunteer. And I think this pop-up grant stuck it in my head, or revisited it, if you will, so I think you're going to see a couple more volunteers shortly, Michael.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Christopher. Really appreciate
That's
it.
wonderful. Thank you.
You can get onto our website. It's an easy place to say where to click for volunteering or register. It'd be great to see you and meet your wife too.
Great.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, we definitely want to give a round of applause to you, Michael, and everyone at Upper Valley Haven for your amazing work for your community. And also thank you, Christopher, for introducing us to this organization today and for your nomination. We are so happy you can both join us, and we definitely want to give a round of applause to you both.
Yes.
And also thank, of course, Whelan Engineering for making this pop-up grant possible.